It's the sound that makes fugitives all over Northeast Ohio just a little bit nervous. Are they next up on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted? Every week we work with the Sheriff's Department in Cuyahoga County as well as Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County to feature 3 fugitives who are on our street when they need to be in front of a judge. They are facing serious charges and should not be allowed to be on our street. They should be in a courtroom. We're going to welcome in, as we always do, Detective Red Dyer with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department. Detective, how are you today?
Fantastic, Dan. How about yourself?
Great to have you back again this week. 3 more fugitives. Red, we talk about this every week. Why do we keep this partnership up between Channel 19 and Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County?
Well, Dan, as you like to say, we've seen the numbers. We know this program works. We know the community wants to be engaged. They want to clean up their neighborhoods while remaining anonymous, remaining safe, and get justice for these victims while opening up the potential for a reward, which we'll get into a little later.
I mean, when you start thinking about a 75% capture rate, whether directly or indirectly of being featured here on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted, 75% of the fugitives we have featured end up either getting caught or turning themselves in, which is exactly what needs to happen. Detective, we don't need to waste any more time. Let's get to our first of 3 fugitives for the week. What do we know about Quentin Claggett?
Well, Dan, what we know about Quentin is that this was a violent attack. According to reports, in August of this year, Quentin actually slammed the victim's arm into a door, broke their phone, wrestled them to the ground, and put them in a leg lock where the victim believed their leg was going to snap. But he didn't stop there. Quentin then pulled a firearm out and put it to the victim's head and threatened them. He then pistol whipped the victim until they were unconscious. He failed to appear for court in this case, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He's approximately 5'9" and 150 pounds and was last known to be staying in the 500 block of Greenhurst Drive in the city of Maple Heights.
I just can't imagine that level of violence, facing a gun and then being hit so hard with the gun you go unconscious. And when we talk about this program and why we keep this up, think about that victim. That is someone who took a severe beating, thought they were going to have their leg broken. This is a domestic violence situation. That person deserves justice. That person deserves to have their day in court and see Mr. Claggett in front of a judge. Let's get to our second case. We unfortunately have a lot of sex offenders that make it into the Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. Let's get to the case of Fred Franklin. What do we know?
Well, Dan, that is true. This warrant actually stems from charges that were brought in 2017. Fred Franklin's actually required to register with the Sheriff's Department as a sex offender, but he has not been doing so. In March of 2000, he pled guilty to rape and served a 10-year mandatory prison sentence at the Lorraine Correctional Institution for his actions. The victim in this case was actually under the age of 13 at the time that it occurred. He's approximately 6 foot and 275 pounds and was last reported to be homeless, so we do not have a last known address for him, which makes it all that more important that we get the community involved to locate him.
And again, when we hear about children being victimized under the age of 13, a victim of rape, that's something that just is unimaginable and should be all the more reason somebody makes the phone call to turn in Fred Franklin. We're going to take a quick break before we get to our third and final case and get you the information to find out how you can be part of the reward offered up by Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County. We will be right back. And we are back. Cuyahoga's Most Wanted. We've already seen our first 2 fugitives featured here, but that means we've got 1 more to go. Detective, we want to get to the case of Benny McNair. What do we know?
Well, Dan, what we know about Mr. McNair is that in March of this year, he robbed the victim of their cell phone and money via Cash App. The victim then fled and to find someone to call the police. Upon arrival, Benny left the scene and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He's approximately 5'5" and 205 pounds and was last known to be staying in the 3100 block of West 56th Street in the city of Cleveland.
Looking at the total list of charges for Benny McNair, we're looking at aggravated robbery with a firearm specification, as well as robbery, abduction, theft, aggravated theft, and telecommunications fraud. That's when someone steals someone else's phone. Detective, people don't want to get involved. We know that. Nobody wants one of these fugitives to know that it was them that made the anonymous call to Crime Stoppers. They don't want their name to show up in some court file, some court record where Benny McNair finds out it was them who called. Walk us through the process of what happens when somebody calls Crime Stoppers?
Well, Dan, as we discuss every week, we don't take down your name, we don't take down your number, we don't have caller ID, and we don't record the phone calls. Every contact that we have with you is referenced to an anonymous tip number that we provide to you when you call us, so your information is never exchanged.
216-252-7463. That is the phone number to call, and that goes directly to Crime Stoppers. That's not a phone call here to Channel 19. We want it to remain anonymous, and that's why this program continues to work. Detective, when we talk about cleaning up our streets, when we talk of up to a $5,000 reward, what do you like people to remember?
That crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
Crime Stoppers does, in fact, pay. Think about how many people have received their reward money for turning in a tip for one of our fugitives. That is another week. That is another 3 fugitives. Detective, I'd like to think someday we run out of people to feature. I just don't think that's going to happen, so we need the community's support. We need people to turn these individuals in so that they can have their day in court. Detective, let's go out and get them.
Been a pleasure.
All right, we appreciate it, Red. It's going to wrap it up. We have 3.5 hours of news and first alert weather coming up at 3 o'clock, just about a half an hour from now on Channel 19. Going to be a bitterly cold morning. Our meteorologists have determined it is a first alert weather day, just something to make sure you are paying attention to as we are going to see single-digit temperatures. Yes, it's Northeast Ohio. We get it. It gets cold, but I think we can all admit this is a little bit early in the season to have this kind of weather. So make sure you tune in to Channel 19 coming up at 3 o'clock. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, and this has been Cuyahoga's Most Wanted.